am Rajiv Saxena, Associate Professor, Smriti College of Pharmaceutical Education, Indore. In today's video lecture, we'll discuss about the dark field microscopy. In the last video, we have discussed about the phase contrast microscopy. And in that video, I have told that in case of the observation of certain cell in an unstained form, then definitely in that case the phase contrast microscopy plays a very important role. Suppose if we want to visualize a particular bacterial cell in an unstained condition, because it is observed that because of the staining of the cell, then it may causes the lethality or killing of the cell. So in condition, if we want to see the live cell without its killing, in that case the phase contrast microscopy plays a very important role. Similarly, if we are talking about the dark field microscopy, it is having a very good application, like if any object which is either transparent or semi-transparent in nature, and if we want to visualize that object under microscopic condition, then it can be done with the help of the dark field microscopy. So here also we don't have to go for the staining procedure that may causes the toxicity of the cell that we need to visualize. Actually, the name itself is suggesting the name of the microscopy is a dark field microscopy. So the name itself is suggesting, like if we want to observe an object which is having a transparent or semi-transparent nature, then that object can be easily visualized if we keep the background dark. I can give you a very important example. Like suppose if there is one dark room in which you are entering, and if the light is focused on you in the dark room, so in that room only you will be visible in a very clear way. So here also what we are trying to do, here we are trying to make the background as a darker one, and in that dark background we are trying to visualize the object which is having a transparent or semi-transparent nature. One more type of similar microscopy is also available, which is called as a bright field microscopy. So in case of the bright field microscopy, what we try to do, we try to make the background as a brighter one, and the object that we need to visualize is having certain color, or it may be stained, or it may have some natural pigmentation. So because of the bright background, the object which is colored in nature, or it is stained, or it is having some natural pigments, then that object can be easily visible in case of the bright field microscopy. But here, suppose if your cell that we need to visualize is not having any color, and we are not able to impart any color, or we don't want to impart any color by any staining procedure, then in that case the dark field microscopy can be very helpful in the microbiological laboratory. Now coming to the basic layout of the dark field microscopy. As you can see in this diagram, in case of the dark field microscopy, initially we'll have the light source, then we have the collector, then we have the condenser, then we have the specimen area where we keep the specimen, then we have the objective lens, and then we'll get the dark field image. Okay, so one by one we'll understand how this dark field microscope actually works in our laboratory. So initially it is having a light source, like in case of every type of microscopy, they require certain sources by which we can see the object. As discussed earlier also, like if we are talking about the light microscope, then light is actually the source by which we are visualizing the object. If we are using an electron microscopy, then electrons are actually the source that help in the visualization of the object. So similarly, if we are talking about the dark field microscopy also, then again here we are using the light of particular intensity, maybe between 400 to 700 nanometer. So this light source is actually generating the light with which we are able to visualize the object. But if we talk about any light microscope or any microscope that is utilizing the light, then it is generally observed that whenever the light will be produced by the light source, then the entire light will be focused on the object, or it will be focused on the specimen. But this is not the case with the dark field microscopy. As you can see in this layout, that there is a specific area which is available that is actually blocking the passage of the entire light towards the specimen. Okay, as you can see here, here is actually the central blocking beam. So here in this region, the entire light will not be focused over the specimen, but rather it will be blocked at the central region, and it will be only passes through the edges. So maybe you can visualize that the light in case of the dark field microscopy, it is actually traveling in the form of some hollow cylinder, because we are not focusing the entire light towards the specimen, but rather we are blocking the central region of the light. Okay, like as we have done in case of the phase contrast microscopy also, that we are using the annular ring that is responsible for blocking the central region of the light. So almost similar type of mechanism is also taking place in case of the dark field microscopy, that we are blocking the central region and we are only allowing the peripheral parts of the light, maybe in the form of some hollow cylinder, towards the specimen. Then after this, the light with the help of the condenser lens, it will be condenses on the surface of the specimen. So specimen here in this case will be any cell which is having any, it is having somewhat transparent or semi-transparent nature. So whatever the solid bodies which are available in the cell, maybe it is a nucleus or maybe any other organelle, that is actually causing the dispersion of the light when the light will be focused towards the object with the help of the condenser lens. So here what is happening? The object is actually illuminated by the light, and the light will be diffracted because of the passage towards the specimen area. So whatever the solid structures which are available in the cell, that causes the diffraction, or that actually causes the hindrance in the passage of the light. But whatever the light which is not interrupted by any solid bodies, that will be passed as such. So here you can say that there are two categories of the lights are available. One which is hindered because of the cell that we want to visualize, and the light which is unhindered, because if it is not crossing any object, or it is not encroaching any cell object, then it will be transferred as such. Okay, so these two type of radiations will be focused towards the area that is towards the objective lens, from where we are trying to visualize the object. So what we are trying to do here, we are trying to hinder the lights which are uninterrupted. Okay, so that because this will create, because if the lights will be uninterrupted, right, if they are also available along with the lights which are hindered, then again what will happen, the entire region will be brightened. So we don't want that, because in case of the dark field microscopy, we want that our background should be dark. Okay, so whatever the uninterrupted radiations that are coming out of the specimen, that is also blocked here, so that it can generate a darker background. And only the light which is actually hindered or dispersed because of the presence of the solid structures of the cell, that only will be allowed to be focused on the towards the objective lens. So because of this, what will happen? The background will be having some darker area, and in that darker area, only the object that will be illuminated, that will be diffracted by the light radiation, it will be visible in the darker background. So by this way, we can easily visualize an object which is having some transparent or some semi-transparent nature, and it is having a very good application. Like we can easily see the cell which is under the live condition. It means here we don't have to go for the staining of the cell. Thank you.